Signs. A married woman likes you but is hiding it. The woman is giving signals. Have you ever felt like someone was giving you signals? Signals so subtle that you could almost miss them, but you weren't entirely sure what they meant. Now imagine that person is a married woman. Interesting, isn't it? Welcome to today's video where we delve into a topic as fascinating as it is. Subtle signs that a married woman likes you, but is the woman hiding it? Before we go any further, let's get some things straight. This is not about encouraging you to cross the line or break commitments. It's about understanding human behavior and recognizing the signals that people may be giving unconsciously. Trust me, when you know what to look for, you'll start to see the world and relationships in a whole new way. In this video, we'll explore the subtle signals that married women may be sending when they're interested in someone outside of their relationship. SHIP will break down the psychology behind these behaviors and help you distinguish between innocent friendliness and something more intentional. Stay with us because this insight might just change the way you interpret human interactions. Let's start by looking at the context. Why might a married woman, possibly committed, develop feelings or show interest in someone else? Relationships are complicated, and marriages are no exception. While every situation is unique, there are some underlying psychological factors that can contribute to this. First, let's look at emotional and psychological needs. In some cases, a woman may feel emotionally unfulfilled in her marriage. Perhaps she's not getting the attention, affirmation, or connection she craves from her partner. This doesn't necessarily mean she's unhappy in her marriage. It could be as simple as feeling undervalued or neglected at certain times. When someone else steps in and provides that missing piece, even if unintentionally, it can create a spark. While it's important to understand that it's not always about physical attraction, sometimes it's the little things. Someone remembers a little detail about her that they noticed her new hairstyle or gave her a compliment that feels genuine. These moments can stand out, especially if they're rare in her current relationship. But this is where it gets tricky. The line between innocent and intentional behavior can be incredibly thin. Married women, like everyone else, can be friendly and attractive without any ulterior motives. It's important to differentiate natural kindness from signs that indicate deeper interest. For example, is she friendly to everyone in the room, or is her energy focused specifically on you? Does she go out of her way to connect with you in a way that seems intentional? These are questions worth asking yourself, and we'll explore more about these subtle signs later in the video. Understanding this context is key, not only to interpreting the signals you might notice, but also to approaching the situation with respect and maturity. Remember, the goal isn't to jump to conclusions or act on every perceived sign. It's to be aware of what's going on around you. Stay tuned because in the next section, we'll uncover the specific behaviors and body language signs that may be revealing her hidden interest. You don't want to miss this. Have you ever felt like someone's body language or the way they speak to you is sending a message that doesn't quite match the superficial conversation? Well, when it comes to subtle signals from a married woman, the clues are often there, but wrapped in layers of subtlety. Today, we're going to delve into the body language and communication patterns that may indicate that a married woman likes you, but is trying to keep it a secret. Let's start with the body language signs. They say actions speak louder than words, and nowhere is that more true than with nonverbal communication. One of the most telling signs is frequent, prolonged eye contact. If she's holding your gaze for a little too long or looking across the room at you more than once, it's not just a coincidence. Eye contact is one of the oldest and most universal signs of attraction. When it's sustained, it's often a way to create a connection without saying a word. But here's the catch. She's likely to quickly look away if she feels caught. It's the back and forth look that reveals another classic clue: subtle grooming gestures. Pay attention to how she acts when you're around. Does she fix her hair, straighten her clothes, or even lightly touch her neck? These gestures may seem insignificant, but they're deeply rooted in psychology. Grooming is often a subconscious response when someone wants to present their best self to someone they find attractive. It's her way of saying, "Pay attention to me," without saying a word. And then there's posture. The way she positions her body around you can say a lot. If she leans in when you're talking, turns her body toward you, or holds her arms open and relaxed, that shows she's comfortable and engaged. On the other hand, if her body posture changes dramatically when others enter the room, she crosses her arms, takes a step back, or looks away, it could mean she's trying to keep her feelings under wraps. Body language is often a game of contrasts, so watch for changes. But body language isn't the only thing that reveals hidden emotions. Let's talk about her communication patterns. Communication patterns. When a married woman is interested in you, the way she speaks to you often takes on a deeper, more personal tone. At first, she may engage in conversations more deeply than necessary. Maybe you asked a simple question, and her answer turns into a detailed story about her life, her thoughts, or even her struggles. This isn't just small talk. This is connection when she makes an effort to share or expand on conversations. It's a sign that she enjoys your presence and appreciates your attention. Another clue is in the little details she remembers about you. You mentioned your favorite coffee shop a few weeks ago, and now she mentions it casually. Maybe she knows your schedule or remembers something trivial that even you forgot you shared. This is no coincidence. When someone cares about you, they sometimes pay more attention than you might expect. It's her way of showing that she's invested in the little things that matter to you. And then there's the compliments. Most people give compliments to be kind or friendly, but when they go beyond the surface, they have a different meaning. A compliment like, "You're so funny," or "You're really smart," may sound innocent, but when combined with the right tone or context, it can reveal a lot more. Especially if she praises things that go beyond the obvious, your personality, your ideas, or your effort. It's a sign that she sees something special in you. What makes these communication patterns stand out isn't just what she says, but also how she says it. There's often an underlying tone of interest, warmth, and commitment that's hard to fake. If her words make you feel like you're being seen or appreciated in a way that's different from simple friendliness, pay attention. There may be more to her than meets the eye. So, what's the takeaway here? Whether it's through her body language or the way she communicates, the signs are often subtle, but they're there if you know where to look. And as we move forward, we'll explore even more ways to decode the signal she's sending. Stay tuned. Let's talk about one of the clearest indicators of hidden interest: effort. The effort she puts into being around you. When a married woman likes you but tries to keep it a secret, her actions can betray her intentions. One of the most telling signs is when she starts making excuses to be in the same room as you, perhaps showing up at a meeting. Normally, she wouldn't feel comfortable walking past your office multiple times a day or joining a group activity you're involved in. These coincidences are often not accidental at all. They're subtle strategies to build closeness, even if she doesn't initiate direct contact. Another sign is a sudden interest in your hobbies or activities. Let's say you like hiking, and she suddenly asks you for advice on the best trails or joins a hiking group she's never mentioned before. Or maybe you're passionate about a particular book or show, and she suddenly reads it or mentions it in a conversation. This newfound interest isn't just curiosity, it's a way to establish common ground and build a connection without making it obvious. If you notice these patterns, they may be more than just friendly gestures. They could be her way of staying close while trying to keep her emotions in check. But here's where things get complicated: her behavioral signals. When her behavioral signals are, she's hiding her feelings. Let's explore the hesitations and contradictions. You might notice this starting with how she acts in public. When there are others around, she may avoid interacting with you directly. For example, if you're in a group setting, she may seem more reserved or act like she's barely paying attention to you. This isn't because she's not interested. It's often a deliberate attempt to distract. She doesn't want others to pick up on her feelings, so she keeps her distance to avoid arousing suspicion. Ironically, this avoidance can be just as revealing as her moments of engagement. Then there's her tendency to quickly withdraw from conversations if others are involved. Imagine you're talking in private and the dynamic seems natural and interesting, but the moment someone else approaches, she becomes noticeably distant or abruptly ends the conversation. This sudden shift is not accidental. It's probably a sign that she's worried about how her behavior might be perceived. Her withdrawal is a way to protect herself from scrutiny and keep her feelings hidden. What makes these hesitations stand out is the contrast they create when you're alone or in a private moment. She may be warm, attractive, and open, but in public, Her sudden change in demeanor reveals a boob job. She has a hard time navigating it. It's like she's walking a tightrope between wanting to connect and needing to maintain her appearance. These signs may be subtle, but they're often accompanied by a mix of nervousness and overcompensation. For example, she might overcorrect by being overly formal with you in public, or she might distract you by focusing on others in the group. In either case, her behavior isn't so much about indifference as it is about managing the fine line she's walking. In the next section, we'll delve into other mixed signs and the reasons behind them. But for now, keep this in mind. When someone is trying to hide their feelings, the clues are often in the things they don't do, the conversations they cut off, the moments they avoid, and the spaces they create to protect their feelings. These gaps can speak louder than words if you know how to spot them. Stay tuned. Have you ever felt like someone's behavior towards you changes with the wind? Warm and interested one moment, then cold and distant the next? Mixed signals. This is called mixed signals, and it's a classic sign of someone struggling with their feelings. They're trying to hide. When a married woman likes you but is determined to keep it a secret, you may notice that she's friendly and open one moment only to withdraw completely. The next day, she's laughing at all your jokes and starting conversations. The next day, she barely acknowledges your presence. These fluctuations often stem from an internal struggle. On one hand, she feels attracted to you. On the other hand, guilt or fear of getting caught prevents her from acting consistently. This behavior can also change depending on the environment. If it's just the two of you, she could be warm and relaxed. But the moment someone else is in the picture, she becomes distant or even awkward. These mixed signals are often an attempt to balance her emotions by keeping her feelings hidden. The bottom line is that her inconsistency is not accidental. It's her way of protecting herself while navigating the connection she feels with you. Then, the avoidance of explicit affirmation. There's the issue of avoiding explicit affirmation. Even if all the signs are there, her persistent glances, her interesting conversations, her subtle attempts to be close to you, she will probably never acknowledge her feelings directly. Why? Because admitting these feelings crosses a line. She's not ready or willing to deal with this denial of validation doesn't mean her actions are unintentional. It simply highlights her inner conflict. If you bring it up, she may deflect, deny, or laugh it off. Her goal is to keep things vague enough to avoid responsibility while still maintaining the connection. What do you do if you find yourself in this situation? Here's how to handle it with integrity and respect for boundaries. Respect. First, let's talk about respecting boundaries. No matter how strong the signs are, it's important to remember that this person is married. Her marriage is a commitment, and crossing that line could lead to consequences far beyond what you might expect. Take a moment to step back and think about the bigger picture. Is it worth the risk of hurting others, including yourself? Respect for her boundaries and her marriage is non-negotiable. Beyond that, consider the ethical implications. Ask yourself if this situation aligns with your values. It's easy to get caught up in the moment, but it's important to think long-term. Sometimes, the most respectful thing you can do is step out of the equation. Evaluate your role completely. Then, evaluate your role in the dynamic. Are you inadvertently encouraging her signals? Sometimes even a well-intentioned smile or an occasional compliment can be misinterpreted. Think about your behavior. Δίνετε τον σωστό τόνο ή μήπως οι πράξεις σας τροφοδοτούν την κατάσταση. Αν αισθάνεστε ότι έχετε συμβάλει, είναι σημαντικό να κάνετε ένα βήμα πίσω με χάρη. Αυτό δεν σημαίνει να είστε ψυχροί ή περιφρονητικοί, αλλά μάλλον να δημιουργείτε χώρο για να ηρεμήσει η κατάσταση. Περιορίστε τις προσωπικές αλληλεπιδράσεις. Αποφύγετε τις υπερβολικά προσωπικές συζητήσεις και θέστε σαφή όρια με ευγενικό αλλά σταθερό τρόπο. Επικοινωνία και σαφήνεια. Τέλος, ας μιλήσουμε για την επικοινωνία και τη σαφήνεια. Αν η κατάσταση γίνει άβολη ή αρχίσει να επηρεάζει την ηρεμία σας, μην φοβάστε να την αντιμετωπίσετε, αλλά κάντε το με διακριτικότητα. Δεν χρειάζεται να την αντιμετωπίσετε άμεσα για τα συναισθήματά της. Ανταυτού, επικεντρωθείτε στο να θέσετε όρια για τον εαυτό σας. Να είστε σαφείς σχετικά με το τι είναι κατάλληλο και τι όχι και να τηρείτε αυτές τις οδηγίες. Για παράδειγμα, αν η προσοχή της σας φαίνεται ακατάλληλη, θα μπορούσατε να πείτε κάτι σαν Εκτιμώ τις αλληλεπιδράσεις μας, αλλά νομίζω ότι είναι σημαντικό να διατηρήσουμε τα πράγματα επαγγελματικά. Αυτό στέλνει ένα σαφές μήνυμα χωρίς να προκαλεί περιττές συγκρούσεις. Σεβόμενη τα όρια της, αξιολογώντας τη δική σας συμπεριφορά και θέτοντας σαφείς προσδοκίες, μπορείτε να διαχειριστείτε την κατάσταση με ακεραιότητα και χάρη. Να θυμάστε ότι οι πράξεις σας έχουν εξίσου μεγάλη σημασία με τις δικές της στη διαμόρφωση της δυναμικής. Μείνετε προσεκτικοί και πιστοί στις αξίες σας. Δεύτερον, τι μάθαμε σήμερα? Τα ανεπαίσθητα σημάδια έλξης από μια παντρεμένη γυναίκα μπορούν να εκδηλωθούν στη γλώσσα του σώματός της, στα πρότυπα επικοινωνίας της και στις προσπάθειές της να είναι κοντά σας. Είτε πρόκειται για παρατεταμένη οπτική επαφή, είτε για να θυμάστε μικρές λεπτομέρειες για τη ζωή σας, είτε για να βρείτε δικαιολογίες για να περάσετε χρόνο μαζί σας, αυτά τα σημάδια συχνά μιλούν πιο δυνατά από τα λόγια. Αλλά να θυμάστε ότι τα ανάμεικτα σημάδια και ο δισταγμός στις δημόσιες αλληλεπιδράσεις συχνά υποδηλώνουν μια εσωτερική σύγκρουση, κάτι που δεν πρέπει ποτέ να αγνοήσετε. Το πιο σημαντικό συμπέρασμα εδώ είναι η επίγνωση. Η αναγνώριση αυτών των συμπεριφορών δεν σημαίνει ότι πρέπει να ενεργείτε βάσει αυτών. Αντίθετα, πρόκειται για την κατανόηση της δυναμικής που παίζει ρόλο και τον σεβασμό των ορίων της σχέσης της. Οι υγιείς σχέσεις, είτε ρομαντικές είτε πλατωνικές, χτίζονται πάνω στην εμπιστοσύνη, την ακεραιότητα και τον σεβασμό. Αποφύγετε τις περιττές επιπλοκές παραμένοντας πιστοί στις αξίες σας και καλλιεργώντας ουσιαστικές ηθικές συνδέσεις. Συμπέρασμα. Καθώς ολοκληρώνουμε, να θυμάστε ότι η αυτογνωσία είναι το κλειδί για την πλοήγηση σε σύνθετες διαπροσωπικές δυναμικές. Η ηθική συμπεριφορά και ο σεβασμός των ορίων δεν αφορούν μόνο την προστασία των άλλων, αφορούν και την προστασία του εαυτού σας. Αν βρήκατε αξία στο σημερινό βίντεο, μην ξεχάσετε να κάνετε like, share και subscribe για περισσότερες πληροφορίες σχετικά με την ανθρώπινη συμπεριφορά και τις σχέσεις. Και μείνετε συντονισμένοι. Έχουμε ακόμη περισσότερα θέματα που θα σας ανοίξουν τα μάτια. Τα λέμε!